is Aubrey here again today, and as you can tell by the title, today we are going to be building an abandoned Gothic style home. And this is the kind of house where if you're a little kid and you and your friends are playing with your ball and it rolls into this yard, you're not getting the ball back. That's this house. This is like a cookie cutter haunted house from the movies. This is kind of like the monster house. That would be a fun build to do. Maybe I should try to actually do the monster house. I'm planning on doing a lot of spooky builds for Halloween. So this is the first one. I also did a fall build a couple of weeks back that turned out really nice. So if you want to watch that, I will link it at the end of the video. And yeah, so we are already starting on the outside of the house here. I wanted to make this like I said, very cookie cutter haunted house, like the kinds that you see in the movies. And I think that I achieved that. I think that it went well. I cut out a lot of footage. This footage was so long, and I think it's because for part of it I was streaming, so I was responding. For some reason there were a lot of people in the chat. I don't even have like hardly any followers on Twitch, but there were a lot of people in the chat, and we were playing Would You Rather, and it just got out of hand, and I was having trouble focusing on the build. So there was a lot of stuff that got cut out, a lot of pauses. And then there's also, I think it was the dining room. The dining room also got cut out, but that was not on purpose. I thought I was filming it while I was streaming, and I wasn't. But luckily, I mean, we can live with that. That's the dining room. All I did was put like a table and some chairs in it, and an organ and spider webs, which is kind of the theme with this house. There is a lot of wear and tear. As you'll see after the outside comes together, I will start just really decorating it with brambles and ivy, and I put cracks in like all of the windows, and I put like the wall goo on all of the windows just to make it look extra gross. Because I want it to look abandoned, like nobody's lived here in a very, very long time. So I put a lot of garbage in here. I put just a lot of the clutter objects that look like garbage and like abandoned stuff. Like that thing that came with Eco Lifestyle that has like the mattress and the fridge and the garbage and all that. I put that in the build somewhere. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of garbage in this build, but I wanted it to be like it's been abandoned for a long time, so maybe like squatters have come along and lived in here and just stuff like that. So I wanted it to look like people have lived here, but like not people that were supposed to live here, and maybe they left because it was just too scary. I do think it ends up being a little bit creepy. I put a nursery in here. So I'm not really sure what happened with the family that lived here, but there's also a kid's room with 2 beds. I don't know if it's much of a kid's room though, because it doesn't have any toys in it or anything, but I thought that maybe they took the toys when they left, but there's still toys in the baby's room, so maybe something happened with the baby, and that's why they didn't take its toys or whatever. I don't know. I think it's fun to come up with stories for your builds anyways. And yeah, so I struggled a little bit with the outside of this build. I'm not used to building Gothic architecture, obviously. I try to change up my build style a lot, but I've never built something like this, I don't think. So here I am adding some gargoyles, which I think looks really neat. And yeah, there's like a big terrace at the top outside of the attic. I didn't put a basement, I put an attic in this build, although I think a basement would have worked nicely in here too. I probably could have put both, to be honest. My parents' house have both an attic and a basement in it, so I probably could have gotten away with doing both, but I just didn't. Sorry if I'm looking off to the side a lot. I'm watching the build with you guys, so that I can talk about it and tell you about it. But if I put my camera right on top of it, then I won't be able to see it, so that is why I am looking off to the side. And yeah, so the build is coming together nicely. I mean, this took me a really long time. I've been working on it for a couple of weeks, just like doing a little bit at a time, which was really annoying when I put the video footage together because I had a million different clips that I had to add. and like speed up and everything. But I'm really proud of the way that it comes out. And the roofing was probably one of the biggest challenges for me for this build, because I feel like there's a very specific style of roofing that they do for Gothic architecture. Not anything super unique, but I did see a lot of these, like, what are these called? They're kind of like dormers, but they don't have windows on them. I don't know. Like the little triangle pieces, I saw that a lot when I was scrolling through Pinterest for inspiration. And I definitely wanted to implement that here, but it's a little bit harder with the way that the roofing system is in The Sims. But I think I did a good job. And I really like the way that this build came out. It's not the most functional build, as you'll see when we do the kitchen. I think that the kitchen is really the only thing that isn't functional. That and the nursery, because I build like a makeshift crib out of some objects. I saw Simlissy do it, so I decided to do it for this build. And I built like a makeshift crib that's obviously not going to work for your baby. But if you wanted to make it functional, it really wouldn't be hard. You would just have to replace the fridge and the oven. And if you wanted that to actually be a functional nursery, get rid of the makeshift crib and add in an actual bassinet. Yeah. But I think that it would be super cool to play in this house with maybe like a ghost sim. And ghosts are a little bit weird in The Sims 4 because they still have needs. Like they still need to eat and sleep. It doesn't make much sense. But there are rewards that you can buy with your aspiration points. And you can make it so that they don't have to eat or sleep anymore if you just keep buying those aspiration points. So you could do that. You could like move a ghost in here and then do that, and then they wouldn't have to eat or sleep or anything like that, and that would make the build more functional for them. Or you could use like turn testing cheats on and then disable household need decay, and then they would be high needs all the time. So I think that would make more sense if you're going to play for a ghost, for them to not have needs, because if they have needs and they're a ghost, that doesn't really make any sense. I'm not sure what EA was doing there, but what can you do? But yeah, now we are cluttering up the outside of the build with lots of spider webs and floor stains. There's going to be garbage. It's a whole lot of fun. There's cracks. Yeah, and then I'm going to start on the outdoor area, like the backyard. I make sort of a courtyard with like a garage or shed. I'm not really sure what it would be. It looks kind of like a dungeon from the outside. But that was super fun. Here I am using like a debug fence because I get annoyed that the actual fences don't go all the way to the edge of the lot. So the way that I cheat around that is to use the debug fences all the way up to the edge of the lot. And the way that you do that is you turn bb.hidden objects on and bb.live-edit objects on. I'm not really sure which one it is for that fence in particular, but if you turn both of those on, you should be able to see a lot more objects and objects that you normally don't have access to. So that is super nice, and those items only cost, they cost $0 usually, so they don't add any value to the build. I know a lot of people use landscaping from debug just because they don't want their build to be super expensive, and landscaping in The Sims 4 is really expensive, so that's a nice way around that. And yeah, I think this turns out so nice. I just imagine that this is like the house where all of the kids in the neighborhood tell legends about it, and none of them are really true. Nobody actually knows what really happened here. And maybe like the teenagers dare each other to spend the night here, and so they like come here, and you could turn it into a community lot and actually like have your teenagers spend the night here. That would be interesting for gameplay. It wouldn't be super functional. They wouldn't actually be scared because they wouldn't know it's a haunted house. But maybe there's a lot trait that gives them some sort of spooked moodlet or something like that. I'm not really sure. But that would be a fun idea, to make it a community lot and have like people come here and visit and stuff. But now we are starting on the little courtyard area. I think this turns out really nice. Actually, this build is really nice. If it wasn't so worn out and broken and everything, it would probably be beautiful. So, if you want to renovate it, I have it uploaded to the gallery. My gallery ID will be in the description. But yeah, if you wanted to renovate it, I bet this house could be absolutely stunning. And honestly, I might renovate it myself because I think that it has a lot of potential. And yeah. Yeah, so I'm just adding like brambles and stuff like that. I have some apple cider here right now. Is it just me, or is apple cider like just thick apple juice? That's how I feel. It's like thick apple juice. It's delicious. But I think it's definitely just like thick apple juice. It's like there's chicken noodle soup and creamy chicken noodle soup. Well, apple juice is chicken noodle soup, and this is creamy. This is creamy chicken noodle soup. I'm so weird. Yeah, so we're still working on that courtyard, or what would this be called? It's like a sunken courtyard. I'm not really sure. I end up using the little arch thing from Romantic Garden Stuff, and I think it works so nicely out here because it kind of has like mold or something crawling up the side of it. It kind of looks like moss, and it just looks like it's dirty and like it's been sitting out here a while. So I thought that was like the perfect object to put out here. And I even add a little bit extra to it. I shrink down some of the crack wall decorations, like the wall decorations that look like cracks in the wall. I shrink them down and I place them onto the archway. You'll see me change it out in a minute. That one that's there right now is a debug one. I didn't like the way that it looked. I just thought that it almost like looked a little bit alpha. Do you see that? Yeah, so here we are. Wow, that was not a smooth transition. But yeah, I edited those little cracks onto it using the wall art, and I'm adding some brambles to it and just making it look a little bit extra beaten up. And I do add a fountain out here. I kind of wish that there was a fountain that didn't have any water in it and was like dried up and like moldy looking, but there's not, so I just put a normal fountain out there. I was trying to figure out how to like use the basement tool and make like a dried up fountain looking thing, but I just couldn't figure it out. But I've seen somebody do it before, so I'm not really sure how they did that. If you know, let me know down below. Right now I am mounting the mailbox onto here because it was annoying me the way that it looked when it was off to the side. And I think it looks nice. It's probably not actually functional, but welcome to this build. Yeah, there's a couple of things in here that aren't functional, but they're easy to switch out if you actually want to like play in here with a sim that has needs. And there were a lot of things that I just did to be aesthetically pleasing and wasn't really thinking about the functionality, so I apologize for that. But sometimes it's nice to just let go when you're building in The Sims and not force things to always be functional. Sometimes that's when you're your most creative. And we have moved on to the inside of the build. So it's definitely pretty gross and creepy in here. Maybe I overdid it with like the wall holes and everything like that. I actually think I go back and delete a couple of them later because I thought that I was doing it like over the top. But there are so many spider webs in this build. And I'm pretty sure that is why it's so expensive, because the furniture in this build isn't that expensive, and everything else really isn't that expensive either. So I think that it's all of the like holes and the spider webs and everything that I put in here. I probably should have used the debug spider webs. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same. They're just like in the debug menu, so they cost $0. But yeah, I think this came out to being like 115,000 simoleons, which isn't terrible. Honestly, when I look at this house, I think that seems accurate, considering its size and everything like that. But it definitely is like beaten down and everything like that, so you'd think it would be a little bit less. I don't know. But I do think it would be really fun to fix up this house, and now that gives me a good idea because I think I might actually try it. and try to make it, like, renew it and make it look really pretty. So if you want to subscribe down below, you might see that in the future. Yeah, so now we are moving on to, like, the living area. And like I said, that room that's in the upper right is the dining room, and for some reason I just didn't record it. It was by accident, but it didn't get recorded. But it's nothing special. I would have been upset if I didn't record the kitchen, but the dining area is just kind of table and chairs, pipe organ, and like a candle chandelier. And there was something really cool that I did in there, actually, where I took a painting of a man that's in the game, and I, like, raised it up to be on the wall. Well, I mean, it's a painting, so it's already on the wall. But I, like, deleted the wall that was behind it, and then I took the hole in the wall decorations, and I raised them up, and, like, got them as close to the painting as possible. And it looks like somebody scratched his face out of the painting. It looks really neat. You'll see it in the screenshots. I did put the dining area in the screenshots. It's just not in the actual speed build. So you will see that when you see the screenshots. I was very proud of that. I also did the same thing in here. So you'll probably see me do that, like, right about now. Yeah, here I am doing it. I don't know if you noticed when you watched the intro, but their heads disappear from the painting. I didn't even know that happened. I was recording the intro, and all of a sudden their heads disappeared, like, when I was panning over, and I was like, wow, this is, like, perfect timing. But there is, like, an area in the intro where the lightning strikes, and there's, like, a little bit of lag. I'm not really sure how that happened. It didn't happen in the game when I was recording it, but for some reason on the video it does that. So I tried to re-record it, like, 20 different times, and every single time there, like, wasn't a lightning strike, so I didn't want to keep that, or their heads were, like, there, or they were in, like, a weird half transition when I was panning over. So I wanted it to be the perfect shot, and unfortunately that one was the perfect shot. There just, like, something happened when the lightning struck, like a little bit of lag or something, but I thought that it was fine. And what can you do? I spent so much time trying to re-record that scene. It was very frustrating, but yeah, I put a lot of time into my intros usually. My intro for the last one was a little bit funny, but normally, you know, I do, like, the montage with the family, and it's very sweet and cute. So for this one, I wanted to do something a little bit creepy. I didn't want to have any Sims in it. I just wanted, actually, you know what? It gives me a little bit of a Luigi's Mansion vibe. Do you get that? Especially with the music that I use in the intro. Yeah, I feel like it's like a Luigi's Mansion vibe. That's really fun. I love Luigi's Mansion. Definitely one of my favorite games that I've ever played. I went to my sister's house one night and I beat it in, like, 6 hours. I was just, actually no, it was more like 10 hours. I literally did not sleep that night, and I did not leave her couch that night, and I beat the whole game. Yeah, so now we're starting on the kitchen. I love the kitchen. I think it looks so good. I love how, like, these objects from Eco Lifestyle don't have doors on them, so you can kind of get creative with the placement of the doors. So, like, the fridge, I acted like the fridge door is still attached, but it's, like, swung open, and there's some, like, disregarded cans and stuff in there. And the oven door fell off, so it's just been set off to the side with a bag of garbage. And then there's all this clutter. This build probably wouldn't have been hardly as nice as this, like, if we didn't have Eco Lifestyle and all of the trashy objects that come with it, which is pretty funny. But I do really appreciate that we get, we have some, like, perfect, like, cookie cutter family objects in The Sims 4, but we also get a lot of objects that are just, you know, like, different. They're, like, unique. They're not meant to be perfect, like these cracks in the wall. They didn't have to give us that, but it really adds to some, like, a build like this. when you're trying to do something like this, or when you're trying to do an old house. I know in one of my houses in the basement I did it, because it's pretty normal if you have a very old basement to have cracks in the walls. And yeah, it just really adds, I think. So I really appreciate that they give us those kinds of objects and not just like nice family objects and stuff like that. But yeah, so we are working on the upstairs. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot. I even said that I skipped the dining area. Now I'm confused. Yeah, we're working on the upstairs now. So this is the master bedroom. It has an ensuite, and yeah, I don't know. Like, my favorite part about this room is that I took the ceiling cobwebs and I put them in like a big spiral, and then I put a chandelier, like one of the candle chandeliers on it, and it just looks like it's got so many spider webs just like on the chandelier. I think it looks really cool, and you'll see me do that in a minute. And then it's the usual cobwebs and everything like that. I tried to make like a canopy kind of thing right here. I like the way that it looked. I don't know. I'm not really sure where I got the idea for that, but I like the way that it looked. I like to make the beds look different if I can, because we don't have a lot of bed options anyways. I mean, we have a lot of bed options, but they get repetitive when you build a lot in The Sims. Like, I wish we had 50% more of everything. No, like 100% more of everything. Like, I want everything doubled. I want more of everything. I feel like we need, or at least like the color wheel from The Sims 3, when you could change the color of literally everything. Now I really want to go play The Sims 3. Every time I go play though, like, I'm really disappointed because I always forget how bad the graphics were in The Sims 3. But yeah, the color wheel was just revolutionary. And the fact that you could like make the hair any color and change the highlights and change the tip color and change the root color. I don't know why they took that away. Like, when you make a new version of the game, you would think you would keep all of the good things and then give more. But instead they took things away. Like, originally there were no pools, there were no toddlers. I just don't know why they took so much stuff away when they gave us The Sims 4. It was a little bit just like disappointing, not gonna lie. But I love The Sims 4 and I love the graphics. I think it's a beautiful, stunning game. It's a long pause right there. I must have been responding to the chat. I tried to filter out like all of those, but I couldn't catch all of the pauses. Oh yeah, did you see what I did with the chandelier right there? Doesn't that look neat? I really like it. I think that it looks very realistic. Very Luigi's Mansion. I guess I'm just gonna keep saying that now that I've thought of it. But yeah, I'm adding some candles and stuff like that. And for the screenshots in the intro, I turned out all of the lights because I thought that if this is an abandoned house, there wouldn't be lights in it anyways. And now I'm getting creative with the bathtub. Isn't that cool what I just did right there? I like took the floor blob thing and raised it up so that it looked like it was in the bathtub, and there's like stains in the bathtub. Sorry, there's somebody walking like really close to my window. He's like looking in here. Okay. I think he's walking his dog, but like what, why are you looking in here? Anyways. Yeah, so we're working on this bathroom. I cut out the other bathroom. The footage for this was really long, so I didn't think I needed to include both of the bathrooms, although they are a little bit different, and you will see the other one in the screenshots. I just didn't want to put two bathrooms in here because I just think they get repetitive. They're not the most fun part to watch. Yeah, so now we are moving on to the nursery area. I think this is really cute. Watch what I'm about to do here. I got this idea from Simlissy, like I said, but doesn't this look like a little crib? Yeah, I think it looks so nice. It's so cute. And I end up changing, yeah, I change it to that. I move everything over, but I forgot to move the bars over until the very end of the build, so you probably won't see me move the bars over. So, oh wait, I moved the bars over, but I didn't move the like pillow or ottoman or whatever that's in there over. So sorry if that bothers you, but I do end up moving it over. At the end of the build, I realize it. I'm not sure why I didn't realize it there, because I feel like it was blatantly obvious, but yeah, so we're just doing our usual clutter everything up with the cobwebs and the holes and the cracks. And that is our theme for this build. Yeah, cobwebs and cracks. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'm running out of things to say about this because I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over for every room. But I'm also going to add a like diaper changing station in here, which I think was a pretty neat idea. I'm not sure where I first saw somebody do this. I watch a lot of Sims builders on YouTube, so I'm not really sure where I got the idea for this. But yeah, so like I raise up those ottomans to look like a little pad to change the baby on. I think I actually switched this out. Maybe I do keep it like that. I guess maybe I keep it like that. Anyways, I thought about adding the baby debug object so many times, but I was like, I feel like that's a little bit too scary if I just have like, and I was gonna make it float like above the crib, like just have it floating above the crib, just a baby floating above the crib. But I thought that would be like way too scary. So if you like that idea, there I go fixing it. If you like that idea, you can totally go into the debug menu and find the baby and make it float above the crib. But I thought that it was a little too scary for this build, even though it is a haunted house, and I wanted to do some fun things for it. I think at the end I added a ghost gnome into the entryway when you first come into the house, and I add the Grim Reaper gnome into the kitchen sitting on a chair, and that's really creepy because when I turned off all of the lights in the house, all you see is just some glowing red eyes sitting on the chair, because the Grim Reaper gnome has glowing red eyes. So he was just like sitting on the chair and his eyes were glowing red, and I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh my god, that's the gnome that I added. I had no idea that his eyes glow. That's so creepy. But I left him there because this build needed a little bit more than just cobwebs and holes in the wall to make it creepy, you know what I mean? Like, we needed some actual substance here, so maybe this house is haunted by gnomes. We don't know. Alright, sorry, I had to go change the lighting because the sun was starting to blast the background and it looked really bad. Which is kind of funny because I haven't seen the sun in forever, and of course it comes out when I'm trying to do a video. But anyways, now we are working on the kids' room, and for the kids' room I wanted to keep things super simple. Just 2 beds, no toys or anything like that. And it kind of makes you wonder why. I feel like the simplicity of it is actually the creepiest part. Like, why are there just 2 made beds? Like, were the kids prisoners here? Did they have any toys? Why are there scratches on the door? Like, what happened here? We don't know. So moving on from that, we are working on the hallway or landing area. I just had a chess table here, so that if you do decide to play with this build, you have some functional things to do. And sorry, my throat is getting very sore. Now I am working on the library area. It's a very small library. If you can't tell, yeah, it's a petite library. And it just has 1 chair in here and a lamp. I almost put the rocking chair in here, but I decided it looked a little weird, and I end up putting a rocking chair in the nursery because I don't know why I didn't even think of that while I was working on it. I actually forget often that we have a rocking chair, so that's probably why I didn't place it in there to begin with. Because I feel like rocking chairs are like the ultimate creepy ghost haunted house kind of thing. Like, you know, in all the scary movies when they just show like the rocking chair rocking on its own and that's supposed to scare you. So I'm not really sure why I didn't put one to begin with, but now we are working on the library again. And yeah, it's a very simple room as well. I don't know. The more that I ever since I said that it looks like Luigi's Mansion, I really think that it does. I mean, not obviously the exterior or the actual rooms or anything, but just like the vibe that I'm getting. It feels very Luigi's Mansion to me. It's probably just because of the music that I was playing in the beginning, the intro, but yeah, so now we're working on the attic area. It's, of course, very beaten up, as with everything else in this build, and I don't know, I think it turns out nice. It just has a lot of boxes and stuff like that, so if you want to move in here or if you want to renovate it, the attic could be a really cool third floor where you add plenty of bedrooms. Maybe this could be like a foster parent house or something like that. But yeah, there's definitely the potential to have a lot of bedrooms in here. I just didn't do that because I felt like it would be repetitive since I'm not really doing this build to be super functional or anything like that. I just didn't want it to be repetitive. If I just kept doing bedrooms, they would probably all look the same. So I thought it'd be cool to do like a creepy storage attic. I'm sorry if you hear that truck. Yeah, this is just part of apartment living, I guess. But yeah, so we are coming up on the end of the build, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. I had a lot of fun building it, and if you want to come watch me on stream, I'm the same name over there. I'm Chinchilla Sims. I often work on stuff that is going to be on my YouTube channel, but I like to sit and chat with people while I'm working on it. So thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate it. My gallery ID is listed below if you want to add this to your game, or if you want to renovate it, definitely tag me. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!